Breaking news! The Baltimore Ravens made some fascinating moves in the 2024 NFL Draft that could have massive implications not just for the future, but for the immediate goals of reaching the Super Bowl. The buzz is real around the Ravens camp, and I'm here to walk you through everything that's happening. The atmosphere behind the scenes is electric, and we have a lot to discuss today. We know that for the Ravens to get to the top, John Harbaugh needs a squad filled with playmakers. I'm going to tell you everything that's been going on, but before we dive deep, make sure you smash that like button if you're truly a Baltimore Ravens fan, especially if you've been bleeding purple and black for over 20 years. If that's you, go ahead and comment, "Go Ravens! My heart bleeds purple and black." Now, straight to the action. The Ravens set the tone in the 6th round, surprising many fans by selecting kicker Tyler Loop from Arizona with the 186th overall pick. Although some fans were eyeing other big names like Andy Bordells out of Miami or Fitzgerald from Florida State, the Ravens stuck to their guns. Tyler Loop has an absolutely monstrous leg. This guy drilled a 62-yarder during the season and was seen banging in a 70-yarder in practice. Yes, you heard that right, 70 yards. He finished last season hitting 18 of 23 attempts and was 6 of 9 from beyond 50 yards. Randy Brown, the Ravens' legendary kicking coach, reportedly scouted all the top kickers personally, and when he returned, his verdict was clear: give me Tyler Loop. It's important to note that while there's a lot of chatter about whether Loop is set to replace Justin Tucker, some insiders feel it's not a matter of if, but when. The plan is unfolding quietly, but make no mistake, John Harbaugh informed Tucker during off-season training that they were bringing in competition. Whether Loop can handle the brutal AFC North weather, with those windy games in Pittsburgh and Cleveland, remains a question. But remember, Justin Tucker adjusted just fine coming out of Texas sunshine. Moving along, another player turning heads is Leonte Wester, a wide receiver out of Colorado, selected 203rd overall. Wester, however, might not be making his biggest splash as a receiver. The Ravens desperately needed a reliable return specialist, an area where they've struggled for years. Wester, who had 326 career receptions, the most in FBS over the last 10 seasons, was brought in to juice up the return game. Last year, Wester averaged 12.12 yards per punt return compared to Baltimore's 9.7, and he took one back for a 76-yard touchdown. He's twitchy, he's electric, and he's already showing love to Lamar Jackson on social media, posting "LJ, we on the way" with purple hearts. It's clear Wester is buying into the Ravens culture immediately, and while he'll compete at wide receiver, it's the return specialist job that could be his ticket onto the roster. Then we have Onyus Peebles, the defensive lineman out of Virginia Tech, taken at 210 overall. Ravens fans, you're going to want to remember this name. Peebles, or Fub, as he's affectionately called, might just become a fan favorite overnight. This man plays with a ferocity and chip on his shoulder that you can feel through the screen. Despite being slightly undersized at 6 feet 0 inches and 282 pounds, he led all defensive tackles in 2024 with a staggering 91.2 pass rush grade according to PFF. He also boasted the fastest time to pressure among defensive tackles with 2.44 seconds. After being drafted, Peebles unleashed on social media, "Y'all messed up. Let me in the door, NFL. Now I'ma make it my home." That's the kind of fire and drive that fits perfectly in Baltimore's aggressive defensive culture. John Harbaugh already sees big potential in him, especially as a third-down sub-rusher. Peebles may not be the massive space eater to replace Michael Pierce, but he brings a disruptive interior rush that could be devastating when paired with the likes of Justin Matabike and Travis Jones. You can just imagine the chaos they can create on third downs. And don't sleep on Robert Longerbeam either, picked 212th overall out of Rutgers. This cornerback is lightning quick, running a 4.39 40-yard dash. Though he's slightly built at 5 feet 11 inches and 174 pounds, Longerbeam is not afraid of contact. Over his collegiate career, he racked up 42 passes defended and was a captain at Rutgers, showing not just skill but leadership. The Ravens love corners who play bigger than their frame suggests. Think of guys like Darius Washington, and Longerbeam fits that mold perfectly. His addition deepens an already competitive cornerback room that blends proven veterans with young, hungry talent. Finally, the 7th-round gem, Garrett Dellinger, a guard out of LSU. Dellinger adds crucial depth to the offensive line, an area that always demands reinforcements in the NFL. A 4-year starter at LSU, Dellinger primarily played left guard and allowed just 2 penalties across nearly 2,000 snaps, a phenomenal stat. Although he missed the last 6 games due to an ankle injury, the Ravens saw enough at the Senior Bowl and threw tape to bring him aboard. Fun fact, Dellinger was born in Maryland before his family moved to Michigan, bringing a nice local connection full circle. He'll face stiff competition to make the roster, but like Andrew Voorhees from a few drafts ago, Dellinger represents a smart low-risk, high-reward investment. Eric DaCosta and his staff absolutely worked the board brilliantly, finding immediate impact players like Malachi Starks and Mike Green at the top, and layering the roster with developmental guys and special teams upgrades late. The draft might look like an A on paper right now, but ultimately, as every Ravens fan knows, it'll be judged when the pads come on. What do you think, Ravens fans? How do you feel about Tyler Loop possibly being the heir to Justin Tucker? Do you think Anyas Peoples can be that disruptive force inside? And is Leonte Wester the answer to Baltimore's long-standing returner issues? I want to hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, another crucial piece that can't go unnoticed is the larger vision this draft class reveals about how the Ravens are thinking in 2024. It's not just about filling holes for the sake of roster numbers. Every pick was a chess move, part of a bigger strategy where versatility, competition, and explosive athleticism are the clear priorities. Starting with the return game, bringing in Leonte Wester wasn't just a nice move, it was a necessary one. Last season, field position was a constant challenge, and it's no secret that the front office was disappointed with how unsettled the returner position remained all year long. Wester offers a real solution. He isn't just a fast player. He's twitchy, smart, and understands the nuances of finding lanes and setting up blockers. Having someone who can consistently give Lamar Jackson better starting field position could easily swing 2 or 3 games in a season. That's huge when you're chasing a Super Bowl. Moving into the trenches, Anyas Peoples stands out not only for his production but for the attitude he brings. He's exactly the type of player who thrives under the Ravens culture. Doubted, overlooked because of size, yet with undeniable production and hunger. Think about how important it is to have depth along the defensive line, especially when the winter months hit and teams get more physical. Peoples could carve out a specialist role early, coming in on passing downs to apply interior pressure, and as he develops under the guidance of coaches like Anthony Weaver and Chuck Smith, he could evolve into so much more. And speaking of specialists, Tyler Loop's presence automatically turns the Ravens' kicking room into one of the most intriguing position battles of training camp. Justin Tucker remains a legend, there's no doubt about that, but in the NFL, nothing lasts forever. Bringing Loop in ensures Baltimore isn't caught unprepared when the inevitable moment arrives. Plus, having Loop around could even push Tucker to maintain peak performance. Iron sharpens iron, and no position epitomizes that like kicker, where one play can define a season. Robert Longerbeam, too, brings critical depth. Think about how many injuries the Ravens dealt with in the secondary last year. Adding someone with Longerbeam's speed, leadership, and physical mindset means the team has another weapon in the secondary rotation. He's someone who can start off contributing on special teams and gradually work into defensive packages. Plus, with his captain background at Rutgers, you're adding a locker room asset, not just a roster body. Fans, the excitement for this rookie class should be real. Not because every player is guaranteed to be a star, but because the Ravens drafted players who reflect the very best of what this franchise has always been about: toughness, pride, and a relentless drive to prove everyone wrong. But now I want to hear from you. Which of these rookies are you most excited to watch at training camp? Who do you think could shock everyone and earn a major role by mid-season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This rookie class could end up playing a much bigger role in the Ravens' Super Bowl push than anyone outside Baltimore is expecting.